Good morning, students. I am Manikant Mishra, Modern English School, New Area. Hopefully, all of you are very much fine. Today, I am going to discuss about the properties of electrovalent compound or ionic compound. So, the very first properties of the ionic compound, the ionic compound are generally exist in crystalline solid. So why ionic compounds are generally exist in crystalline solid? So let us take an example like a sodium chloride. This sodium, in a formation of sodium chloride, it happens, the formation of sodium chloride NaCl formation takes place due to losing of one electron by sodium and gaining of one electron by chlorine. As a result, sodium acquire 1 unit of a positive charge and chlorine acquire 1 unit of negative charge. Sodium ion and chloride ion due to ionic interaction, also you can say due to Coulombic force or due to electrostatic force of attraction, these two Na plus is strongly held Cl minus and Cl minus is strongly held Na plus. Each Cl minus ion held 6 Na plus and each Na plus held 6 Cl minus ions. Now arrangement of these ions, arrangement of Na plus and Cl minus ion in a crystal is called lattice. The arrangement of ion of these ions Na plus Cl minus Mg plus O minus 2 Ca plus 2 Cl minus, these are the ionic compound. So arrangement of ion in an ionic compound is called lattice. What is a lattice? Arrangement of ions in an ionic compound is called lattice. So the very first question, as I said, ionic compounds are generally exist in a crystalline solid because of strong inter-ionic interaction or strong electrostatic force of attraction or strong Coulombic force of attraction, due to which ionic compounds are generally exist in crystalline solid. Next, ionic compounds have high melting point and boiling point. Again, the same reason that due to strong inter-ionic interaction, the ionic compounds have high melting point and boiling point. Next properties, ionic compound have high density. It is also because of strong inter-ionic interaction. Is due to strong inter-ionic interaction or strong Coulombic force or strong electrostatic force of attraction, ionic compounds have high density. Now next properties, the ionic compounds are soluble in water or polar solvent. That detail I will discuss when a polar solvent, when I will discuss the covalent bond and covalent compound. But here one of the example of a polar solvent is water. Most prominent polar solvent is water. So ionic compounds are generally soluble in polar solvent. Ionic compounds are generally soluble in polar solvent, because as we know, like dissolve like dissolve like. Since in an ionic compound there is it does not constitute molecule, rather it constitutes ions. Here you see in NaCl there is Na plus and Cl minus ion. So ionic compound always constitutes ion. So when you are adding in water, so water is a polar solvent. So here also, if you draw its structure, H, due to more electronegativity value of oxygen as compared to hydrogen, due to more electronegativity of oxygen as compared to hydrogen. What is electronegativity? The tendency of an element to attract the shared pair electron. So here oxygen and hydrogen, there is a sharing of electron is taking place, but the shared pair is attracted towards the oxygen. As a result, it acquired the partial negative charge and it acquires partial positive charge. Such kind of molecule is called polar covalent molecule, or simply polar molecules. Now, when you are bringing this NaCl in water, when you are dissolving NaCl in water, then what happens? There is an ionic interaction takes place. Like Na plus is surrounded by see this Na plus is surrounded by water, and water of the oxygen is negatively charged, that is interact with the positive charge of sodium ion. Similarly these kinds of interaction also takes place in chloride ion. So Cl minus ion is also interact with the hydrogen, delta positive. In this way you see, first of all, Na plus, when you are adding in a sodium chloride water, when you are adding the water in a ionic compound, so what happens? NaCl dissociate into ion. NaCl dissociate into ion. Now, from where this energy has come, that I will tell you. First of all, this compound dissociate into ion, and this, since water is a polar covalent molecule, so here is also partial negative charge over the oxygen atom and over the hydrogen atom there is a partial positive charge. So there is a negative end of water molecules interact with the positively charged ion of a ionic compound. So in this way, the sodium ion is surrounded by water molecules. So that's why we write in a short NaCl plus water. We generally write Na plus aqueous plus Cl minus aqueous. So here you see why we write Na plus aqueous, because Na plus is surrounded by water molecules. Similarly, Cl minus aqueous, Cl minus is also surrounded by water molecule. So Cl minus is surrounded by positive end of a hydrogen ion. Chloride ion, Cl minus ion is surrounded by positive end of water molecule, hydrogen ion of the water molecule. Now there is a ionic interaction takes place. Here there is a ionic interaction takes place between the sodium ion and water and chloride ion and water. The energy is liberated. And this energy is called hydration enthalpy. This energy is called hydration enthalpy, or if other than water, then only we called as a enthalpy. If there is a case of water, then we call it as a hydration enthalpy, or simply if other than water is there is a polar solvent, then we call it as the energy is liberated, and that energy is called enthalpy. There is a ion interaction takes place. Positive ion and negative ion. Positive ion, negative ion. Positive ion, negative ion. Positive ion, negative ion. Similarly, Cl minus, hydrogen plus. 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 So Cl minus is completely surrounded by water molecule. So there is a ion interaction takes place. As a result, there is a energy is evolved, and this energy is only responsible to dissociate the ionic interaction acting within the ionic compound. That's why ionic compounds are soluble in water. If there is energy is not enough, the energy evolved is not enough, then may not be those compound will soluble in water. So please try to understand, my dear students. As I said, ionic compounds are soluble in water. So ionic compounds are soluble in water, and water like a polar solvent. So why there is a ion interaction takes place? Due to ionic interaction, these ionic compounds are soluble in water, and because due to ionic interaction energy is evolved. That energy, if there is a water is present as a solvent, we call it as a hydration enthalpy. If there is other than water, then we call only as a enthalpy. So please keep it in mind why ionic compounds are soluble in water, because in polar solvent or simply water, because of there is a ionic interaction takes place, and this ionic interaction, as a result, the energy is liberated. That energy overcome the force of attraction acting between the ionic compound. That's why the ionic compounds are soluble in water. So watch the video carefully. If there is any doubt, please let me know. Thank you. Have a nice day.